I cannot tell you how delighted I am to be able to make this very small contribution to mark the 20th anniversary of the Countryside Restoration Trust. My only regret, of course, is that I cannot be with you in person to celebrate such a notable achievement. Knowing so many of those involved, I am sure it will be as entertaining as it will be inspiring. In a sense, it is sad to think that Robin Page, Gordon Benningfield, and Sir Lawrence Vanderpost felt there had to be an organisation dedicated to restoring our countryside. Why had it come to such a pass that we were losing by neglect one of our most precious resources? I remember well how the prevailing attitude seemed to have written off farmland as a place where wildlife could and should flourish. Through financial encouragement from the then European Economic Community, farmers were told that all that mattered was economic efficiency, which could be achieved in an homogenized, characterless countryside, denuded of its hedgerows, its old grass meadows, its dew ponds, and its spinneys. Songbirds, hares, orchids, and butterflies were all deemed surplus to requirements and an expensive luxury. Well, while much has changed for the better in recent years, we are still managing to get it badly wrong again and again. You only have to look at how long it has taken for the plight of our ash trees and tree disease in general to register in the mainstream, or what is happening to the bee population. Another reason, by the way, I decided to convert to an organic system very nearly 30 years ago. So I cannot praise or thank you enough for holding true to your convictions. You have been a beacon for those who are concerned about the welfare of farmland and the absolutely vital part that nature's astonishing diversity plays in maintaining its long-term productivity. We simply cannot go on taking without giving back. Reverence is actually an important part of restoration. Something has to be sacred. On my visits to Lark Rise Farm, it has been immensely moving to see such land enjoying an abundance of butterflies, birds, and other wildlife. It demonstrates that wildlife can coexist with farming. In fact, it must. Just like healthy soil, it is a vital element which we cannot do without if we hope to create a food system that is secure and truly sustainable in the long term. It is important, of course, to remember that the increasingly precious and ever-threatened biodiversity of a restored countryside does not just happen by accident. Our landscape has been managed for thousands of years. We cannot abandon it, or the fragile species which need protection, and not just from intensive agriculture, but from predators too. On this crowded island, we have to find a way for all those involved in the management of land and who care about the future of these vulnerable species to work together in common cause. It is only through far-sighted stewardship involving creative management regimes and genuine collaboration between different organizations that we will see a return to healthy levels of birds and other wildlife, which I remember so well from my childhood, such as the upland waders, butterflies, and wildflowers, as well as the many songbirds which are threatened. So there is still much to do, as there is in farming itself. Not only are the costs of fuel and feed spiralling, so too is the age of farmers. The average age of a British farmer is now 58, and that worrying fact is compounded by a serious decline in the number of young people entering the profession. We have to do all we can to turn this situation around. Without farmers and their skills, not only will our countryside cease to exist in any way that we recognize today, but our ability to produce the food that we need will be at real risk at a time when we need it more than ever before. So That is partly why I established my Countryside Fund 3 years ago, which has already touched the lives of 40,000 people and given away grants of more than £3 million. One way to encourage new entrants into agriculture is to demonstrate as publicly as possible that responsible farming does not depend upon yet more expensive chemicals, but on highly skilled, deeply knowledgeable farmers and wise use of technology. Ultimately, a sustainable food production system is only possible if we nurture and maintain the health of the natural ecosystems that support it. The Countryside Restoration Trust has been doing just that for the last 2 decades, and there is no doubt that your ceaseless and tireless efforts are reaping their rewards with increasing attention being paid to what is euphemistically described as high-nature farming systems. With your 1,500 acres of working farms, small holdings and woodland across the country, you have created what I would call havens on earth that are helping to shift public perception and forge a better and more inclusive way of farming for the future. For me, in showing how the countryside can be restored, you have demonstrated what dear Lawrence would have called our collective outlook, healing the fracture in the wider cultural perception of the countryside that sadly too often prevents the connection being made between the welfare of nature's life-supporting systems and our own physical and spiritual well-being. So I can only send you my heartfelt congratulations, but I do urge you to keep up the momentum. Yours is a much-needed example that should be more widely amplified. It is the embodiment of a vision that matters to us all.